Won't let me go home sick? I'll see you in 30 days when I pick up my cancer meds. In 2010, I worked at a corner drugstore as a department lead. At 21, I knew this wasn't my future. I did the bare minimum, just trying to make it to graduation. I especially hated Sundays, my Friday, and the managers weren't shy about disliking me either. I wasn't confrontational or difficult, just unmotivated. They knew I wasn't there to build a career. On Sunday, May 2nd, I came in already feeling off. I'd been a bit under the weather on Friday, felt okay Saturday, but Sunday hit hard. About 2 hours into my shift, I felt awful, feverish, dizzy, barely able to stand. I asked the manager on duty if I could go home. He wasn't sympathetic and told me I had to find someone to cover my shift. That wasn't policy, just him being petty. Still, I called a coworker who agreed to come in. My boyfriend worked nearby, so I walked to his hotel and crashed in the lobby until he got off work. 9 hours later, we got home, and I started coughing up blood. He drove me straight to the ER. I was diagnosed with strep and admitted overnight. The next morning, a nurse told me I'd be staying for at least a week. I called the store to inform them. This time, another manager, one who liked me even less, picked up. He was clearly annoyed when I said I'd be out for a week and didn't want to hear details or speak to the nurse. I could tell he thought I was exaggerating. At the time, I didn't even know the full truth myself. Later that day, a doctor explained that my blood work looked strange and suggested a bone marrow biopsy. I didn't know much about it, but agreed. I figured it was just precautionary. I was still recovering from strep, just trying to feel better. On Tuesday, May 4th, I got the results. I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of leukemia. I'd be transferred to a hospital in the city to begin chemo that night. My entire life changed in a sentence. I called my closest friends, many of whom worked at the store, and told them in person. One friend had a shift that afternoon and broke the news to everyone. My mom spoke to the store manager during my stay, and thankfully, she was kind and supportive. The others, the ones who ignored my request to go home, never said a word. Not to me, not to my family, not even through coworkers. I spent the next 28 days in the hospital. My body was battered. I lost my hair, lived with a PICC line in my arm, and endured endless tests and transfusions. But I made it through the first round of treatment. When I was finally discharged, I had to return to the store to pick up my new medications. As I walked toward the pharmacy, bald, pale, and bruised, I turned down one of the aisles and saw him. The same manager who wouldn't let me leave that day. He was stocking shelves and looked up right as I passed. His face said everything. There was no need for a confrontation. Just being there, visibly recovering from cancer, was more than enough. I didn't rub it in. I didn't have to. That moment alone, seeing the physical proof that I'd been very sick when he dismissed me, was incredibly satisfying. His silence, his stunned look, was pure vindication. I never went back to work after that. I had to file for disability. The following 5 months were filled with more chemo, hospital stays, blood transfusions, and even a case of sepsis that nearly killed me. It was the hardest time of my life, but even now, years later, I remember that look on his face, that sudden realization, the guilt that settled into his expression.